If you're over 70 and you think a daily walk is enough to keep your legs strong, there's something most doctors don't say out loud. Walking barely touches the one muscle group that determines whether you can stand up from a chair without holding on to anything: your glutes. In the next 25 minutes, I'll show you a single exercise you can do lying in your own bed in under 10 minutes a day that works those muscles better than a 30-minute walk ever could. No equipment, no standing, no risk of falling. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do it, how many times a week, and how to make it safe even if you have back or knee pain. Here's a scene that probably feels familiar. You get up from the couch and for a second, your legs just don't respond the way they used to. Maybe you push off with your arms instead of your legs. Maybe you pause at the top of the stairs just to steady yourself. It's not really about age. It's about which muscles you've been using and which ones you haven't. For decades, walking has been sold as the golden rule of staying active after 70. And walking is genuinely good for your heart, your lungs, your mood. But here's what's strange. People who walk every single day can still struggle to get up from a low chair or feel their knees buckle on the stairs. Why? Because walking is a low-intensity, repetitive motion. It barely asks your glutes, the largest, strongest muscle group in your entire body, to do any real work. And your glutes are exactly what stop you from falling when you lose your balance, what push you upward when you rise from a seat, what keep your hips steady when you climb. When they weaken, walking alone won't bring them back. That's the piece of the puzzle almost nobody explains clearly, and it's exactly what we're going to fix today. The exercise is called the bed glute bridge, sometimes called a pelvic lift. You lie on your back, feet flat, knees bent, and you lift your hips toward the ceiling using your glutes and your core. That's it. No standing, no balancing, no impact on your joints. Physical therapists have used a version of this for years in what's sometimes called in-bed gym programs. Exercises designed for people recovering from surgery or dealing with limited mobility, where standing exercises simply aren't an option yet. The hip lift is almost always one of the first movements introduced because it directly targets the glutes, the lower back, and the deep core muscles, the same muscles responsible for what physical therapists call functional strength. Not gym strength, not how much you can lift. Functional strength means, can you stand up without help? Can you catch yourself if you stumble? Can you hold your balance for one extra second before a fall becomes a real fall? I want to be completely honest with you. This exercise will not cure arthritis, and it's not a replacement for walking altogether. Walking is still wonderful for your cardiovascular health. But if walking is the only thing you do, you have a gap. And the bed glute bridge is quite simply the single most efficient way to close that gap from the safety of your own mattress. Let's break this down step by step, so slowly that there's no guesswork. Step 1, lie on your back on your bed or on a firm mat if you prefer a flatter surface. Bend your knees and place your feet flat, about hip width apart, close enough that your fingertips can touch your heels. Step 2, rest your arms flat by your sides, palms down for stability. Step 3, breathe in through your nose. As you breathe out, gently squeeze your glutes and lift your hips upward, just a few inches off the bed. You are not trying to arch your back. The lift comes from your glutes and hamstrings, not your spine. Step 4, pause for 2 full seconds at the top. This is the part almost everyone rushes, and it's the part that actually builds strength. Step 5, breathe in again as you slowly lower your hips back down with control. Don't just drop. That's 1 repetition. For a first attempt, aim for 8 repetitions, rest for 30 seconds, and repeat for a total of 2 sets. As it starts to feel easier over the coming weeks, you can build up to 12 repetitions in 3 sets. Now here's the mistake almost everyone makes without realizing it: pushing through the lower back instead of the glutes. If you feel this exercise in your lower back rather than your buttocks, you're lifting too high, or your feet are too far from your body. Bring your feet closer in, lift only a few inches, and really focus on squeezing your glutes at the top. Imagine you're holding a coin between your cheeks. If you want a slightly greater challenge once the basic version feels comfortable, you can try lifting one heel slightly off the bed at the top of the movement, alternating sides. But that's a progression for later. For now, master the basic 2 inches. It sounds almost too simple to work, but simplicity is exactly why physical therapists rely on it. It isolates the right muscles without asking your joints to do anything risky. Now, if you have any of the following conditions, here's exactly how to adapt this safely. Please don't skip this part. If you have lower back pain, keep the lift very small, just an inch or 2, and place a small pillow under your lower back before you begin for extra support. Stop the lift the moment you feel any pulling sensation in your spine rather than your glutes. If you have knee pain, place a small rolled towel behind one knee if bending, both fully feels uncomfortable, and widen your foot stance slightly to reduce pressure. If you're recovering from hip or knee surgery or from a recent fall, please check with your doctor or physical therapist before starting any new exercise. And if you're cleared, begin with what's called an isometric hold. Simply squeeze your glutes without lifting at all, hold for 5 seconds, and release. That alone builds the same muscle activation pattern with zero movement risk. And one universal rule for everyone watching: if at any point you feel sharp pain, as opposed to a normal muscle working sensation, stop immediately. Mild fatigue in the glutes is exactly what we want. Sharp pain anywhere is your body telling you to ease off. This exercise is designed to be one of the gentlest strength movements that exists. If it doesn't feel gentle for you, the modification you need is almost always making the movement smaller, not skipping it altogether. Let me tell you about someone many of you will recognize a little of yourself in. She's 74. For years, her only exercise was a morning walk around the block, rain or shine, and she was proud of that habit. But she'd started avoiding the stairs to her basement, taking them one at a time, gripping the railing with both hands. She assumed that was just what getting older felt like. A physical therapist suggested she try a hip lift in bed each morning, right before getting up. Nothing dramatic, just 10 lifts, 2 sets, while still under the covers. She said the first week she barely felt anything different. By the 3rd week, she noticed she wasn't gripping the railing quite as hard. By the 6th week, she walked down those stairs 1 foot after the other, like she used to, without even thinking about it. That's not a miracle. That's what happens when you finally train the muscle that was doing all the quiet, invisible work of keeping you upright. The muscle walking alone never asked to work hard. Here's exactly how to fit this into your week, combined with the walking you're likely already doing. Week 1. Do the bed glute bridge every morning right after waking up, 2 sets of 8 repetitions, and continue your normal daily walk as usual. Don't change that at all. Week 2. Increase to 3 sets of 8, and on 3 of your walking days, add 30 seconds of slightly faster paced walking in the middle of your walk, then return to your normal pace. Week 3. Increase your repetitions to 12%, still 3 sets, and try adding the single leg lift variation we mentioned earlier on just 1 of your sets. Week 4. This is your consolidation week. 3 sets of 12 with the single leg variation on 2 sets. And your walk stays exactly the same length, but notice how it feels. Most people tell us this is the week they first notice the stairs feeling different. After week 4, you don't need to keep increasing forever. The goal isn't to turn this into a workout program. It's to give your glutes a standing weekly appointment, the same way your daily walk is already an appointment for your heart. 3 sets of 12, most mornings of the week, for the rest of your life, combined with the walking you already love. That's genuinely all it takes to close the gap we talked about at the beginning of this video. It's not complicated, it's just consistent. And consistency, done gently, beats intensity every single time at this stage of life. Let's go through the questions we hear most often. First, can I do this if I have osteoporosis? In most cases, yes. This is a low-impact, controlled movement, but always confirm with your doctor first, since every case is different. Second, will this replace the need for walking altogether? No, and I want to be clear about that. Walking supports your heart and lungs in a way this exercise doesn't. Think of them as 2 different tools for 2 different jobs. Third, how long before I notice a difference? Most people report feeling more stability getting up from low chairs within 3 to 4 weeks of consistent practice. Not overnight, but noticeably faster than most people expect from such a small movement. Fourth, and this is a myth we hear constantly, I'm too weak to start strength exercises at my age. This is actually backward. The weaker your glutes currently are, the more this specific exercise will help, precisely because it requires no balance and no impact. It's designed for exactly the starting point you're at right now, not for someone who's already strong. There is no age or fitness level where this movement becomes inappropriate to at least attempt in its gentlest form. So let's bring this back to where we started. Walking is wonderful. Keep doing it. But if it's the only thing you're doing, you're missing the one muscle group that decides whether you can stand up on your own, catch your balance, and climb the stairs with confidence. 10 minutes in your own bed most mornings is genuinely all it takes to start closing that gap. If this video helped you, hit subscribe. We publish safe, realistic exercises for exactly this stage of life every week. No gimmicks, no exaggerated claims. Leave a comment and tell me, which part of daily life do you want your strength back for most? The stairs, getting up from a chair, or just walking without worrying about falling? I read every single comment. And if you're ready for the next step, our next video covers 3 simple bed exercises specifically for improving your balance. Because strength and balance are 2 different things, and you'll want both. I'll see you there.